I truly hope that you've been so well. I've personally been really feeling the need to clear my mind and reset, so I've decided to take a drive down to the river. Something about the sounds of the cool, rushing water has always been a way to bring me back to the present moment, and as I submerge in it all I can focus on is my breath and my body. I also hope that you've been able to create a little bit of time to nurture yourself as well. Oftentimes, we're so easily caught up in our routines and making sure the progress of life is productive that we tend to overlook the little moments to reconnect within. Before we know it, autumn will be here, but we still have some warm summer days ahead, and despite trying to be sold the next new thing, I really want to embrace the current time at hand. The summer garden turned out to be a success, and I've already picked many of the tomatoes so far, but they are still continuing to produce. And it's also time to harvest the fairy tale eggplants as well. Today's world often encourages us to move so fast, to do more, to achieve and collect more. But in this rush, we tend to overlook the beauty in nourishing and taking care of what we already have. My gratitude has grown tenfold as I've been trying to instill connection with the earth through gardening. Learning these simple skills of tending to different plants has been so lovely, and it's not that it's hard, it's just that it takes a little bit of patience, and the reward always tastes much sweeter. There has been so many tomatoes from the garden that I need to figure out what to do with them all. I think I'll cut them up with some herbs and aromatics and make a nice sauce paired with some fresh pasta. Okay, so I recently learned the magic of making pasta at home with sourdough starter, and y'all, it's such a game changer. Not only do I feel better about all the carbs, but the fermenting process helps make it gut friendly and better for our digestion. It may take longer than popping spaghetti in from a box, but the satisfying taste of fresh pasta is just something else. You can also make batches ahead of time and keep them in the freezer for up to a month, so I really recommend giving it a try. It's actually quite a fun activity to do with friends or little ones as well. You can shape and cook the pasta the same day after it dries, but I decided to let the dough rest overnight for a long ferment and make this meal tomorrow. You can skip the step of roasting, but I like to do it as it helps caramelize and really pull out the sweetness of the tomatoes. Another option would be to sun dry them, but we haven't really had the consecutive sunny days to do so. So this method works okay. It feels like many of us are going through a chrysalis of some sort this year, and I must admit I've had some pretty challenging and dark days throughout, especially where it's been so hard to see the bigger picture of it all. But sometimes keeping up with the simplest habits like getting enough sunlight, exercise, or mental stimulation in helps us so much more than we know. We may not see immediate results, but using these habits or tools to help carve out our future can truly be uplifting. And since we've all gone through a very powerful new moon, it's a great time to start curating what habits we'd like to work on. Okay, so it's been a full evening of fermenting the dough, and now time to roll it out and form it into whatever shape you like. I made enough for about 4 servings, and so it's nice to separate them into manageable pieces. As I let the noodles dry, I'll go ahead and get some extra chores completed. I've been wanting to put these grass clippings into the compost pile to help add more structure to the mix. Chester has been extra affectionate as of late, ever since our foster Max has left for his new home. He's been asking for a ton of attention. But even though they didn't always get along, I think he might miss him just a little bit. Like Chester, I too have been missing my friend and my love as he is off working on his own personal journey. And it's been tough, but I've recently rediscovered one of my greatest teacher's quotes that says, "The most important aspect of love is not in the giving or the receiving, it's in the being." And I think what is meant by this is that often the connections we have with others is a key that unlocks something in us. The experience that we're in love and everything is beautiful suddenly. But it only happens when they're around, so the tendency is to want to possess the beloved, which is just not possible. We cannot possess what is outside of us, as it's not truly others that are the source, but rather a spark that shines light on the feelings that we already generate from within. And so I'm trying to remember all of this as I go throughout life, because as long as we can remain unlocked, honor our own hearts, and reconnect to that which already exists in us, this state of love will never run out and will naturally overflow to those around us. And so I have to thank you again. I'm so grateful for you being with me on this journey, and I truly hope you take so much care.